Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, Series 17. So, we'll all be using an exclusive sketch for our layouts this month. And today's layout was created by Jessica Michaels. It's really cute, and I had full intentions of doing it pretty much like it is, with a little bit more. But you will see mine's quite a bit more different than I was planning. I'm going to use those two photos there of my grandson Jason, sequins that Colleen sent me, and just the seahorse there. And then this one, it was called Under the Sea. It was on Amazon several years ago. I don't know if they still have it or not. And then that Studio Light fishnet and Craft Consortium. And this one's called Patina. So it all has some greens and blues in it. And I'm also going to use that stencil there. And it's Gina Marie Designs. And it's fish. And I thought I was going to use it on the background first. That was my plan, but just as I was getting ready to do it, I decided to put the other stuff on there first and then the fish last. The first time I'm putting this on here, it is salvage patina. And although I like the color, I was wishing for a little bit darker, so I got out some close to my heart. And I think this one's called Crystal Blue. It's an old one. And so, yeah, it adds a little bit more color. And I'm trying to put in the places I think will be showing on here. And so, yeah, I'm leaving the spots where my paper's going to be. And you will see in a minute my paper is bigger than the ones on the sketch. But you make the sketch work for you. And so it's my inspiration, and I'm going to have the 3 panels and my picture. And for some reason I thought the title was up there in the upper left. And so that's where mine ended up. But looking at the sketch right now, no, it's not. So I didn't remember it quite correctly. This has like a whole school of fish on it. So I'm just picking different places to put the ink in, and hopefully some of it would show. I do see some fish when it gets done, but I knew that much was not going to show. The reason these are so much bigger is because of some die cuts I'm going to use. It just would not work with anything smaller. I even cut smaller ones, and so that they got to be saved for something else, because then I had to turn around and cut them bigger. And I cut the one with a lot of patina showing first, and then of course I rounded the corners, and it's 1/2 inch rounder. Then I cut the darker one, because if you can tell on the photos, my grandson's at an aquarium. They went to Hot Springs that weekend for a game that he had, but I'm thinking they were in Little Rock when they went to this aquarium. But it looks like an old submarine or something, or ship. Well, I guess submarine, because you can see fish swimming there because it is an aquarium. And the die cuts I pull out to go with that, the wall, the photo on the left-hand side is farther away, so it shows the wall and it shows rivets going down the side on outside the door. And so I did rivets all around there. I knew that was going to take like forever. And it did. I used 2 pieces of black cardstock and then the patterned paper, so it'd have the rusty look. And then, of course, I had to use my fancy hole punch. I think it's called a chomper or something. I can't remember. It's been so long since I heard anybody call it anything. But I put them around there. And once I got started, I wasn't that far along at all. I thought, man, I should have spaced them a little bit farther apart so I wouldn't have so many to do. Because when you do them, you have to turn around and mash them flat because they curl. And then, of course, you got to glue them on. And the closer they are together, you got to do more. So I already had them glued on. And so I just kept going. And I could have left them off where my photos was going to be. I thought of that. Too late. Yeah. I wanted my papers to go where it looked like they connected to each other, where I had cut it at. So I'd already done that spot there, so I wasn't about to change and have them like upside down or anything. I'm making a little shaker thing. Like I said, it shows fish in the window there. So I've got a fish there, and then I put some sequins there too. And some are loose and some are glued down. I wanted to make sure that one stayed because it looked kind of empty there even after I put the others in there. And I wanted that spot there, so I added one more. And the top one, the window, it is from Tim Holtz Steampunk, and it's one of those steel rule dies, the bigger one. And then the bottom one is from Tim Holtz Mechanical, and I think it's supposed to be some kind of gear. I'm not sure. It's got like all kinds of parts and a pulley and all that stuff. And so I'm thinking it's some kind of gear, or it could be a thing you turn for opening a door on a submarine. I don't know, but that's what I used it for. I went ahead and made two of these in advance because they do take a little bit. They're not layered dies, so you have to cut the parts you want to have a different color, of course, uh, separately. So the whole bottom got cut like 4 times, I believe, on this one. And I'm just adding the pieces on here and inking them. I did ink the seagrass there to start with. The paper I used, well, I used a piece of cardstock and a paper. The paper I use is a really old one. It's a very light green and it has like spots on it. And I thought it worked really well, but it looked like it was flowing in the water, so I wanted lighter and darker areas of it, so I inked it with peacock feathers. And this is the last piece to go on there. I am inking it with, I think it's tea dye. It's tea dye. It's what I inked it with. And I think that's it. I think it will be done, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to go there, and then I have two more that I did in advance because that die set came with three. I thought that's great. I could put one on each of the panels here. And I'm adding some sequins to them because, of course, I want sparkle under the sea. And yeah, they're going to go on here too. And then it also comes with little seashells. And I'm just kind of making a little treasure by each one of the seagrass pieces. But this is like the perfect, oh, I don't remember the name of it. Seashore, maybe? Uh, but it's like the perfect colors to go on here. It has some green, some blues, and I think some white and gold. And so I wanted to add the sequins on there like a treasure. Yeah, I think that's why I had them on there. I can't think of any other reason. I just think it looks good. Magical. That's it. uh, but anyway, about my pictures, they weren't really good. I guess it's dark right there. You know how sometimes in an aquarium they'll have it darker so you can see the fish lit up in the background. And so both of these pictures were really dark. They're really close to the same, but they were really dark, so I lightened them, and the light is shining on them. I'm sorry about that. I have done everything I could think of to get my lights not to do that, even put vellum over the top of the lights. But yeah, they still shine on the photos. Anyway, I lightened them, but they couldn't be any bigger. They had to be small or they'd look even worse. But you can tell who it is. I mean, I can tell it's Jason, and Jason will be able to tell it's him. So I wanted to make sure I use them on a layout anyway because they had a lot of fun that day. He called last night there in Memphis and at a basketball game, and he was just so thrilled telling me who was going to be playing and all this stuff. I hadn't a clue. Just so you all know, I pretended I did. I told him how excited I was he was there, but yeah, he had to call and tell me it. Of course, this was music because I said, "Who's winning?" And he said, "It hasn't started yet. The music's on. I had to call you before it started," meaning he didn't want to talk to me while it's on. But I was excited he called. Let's see, where am I at? Oh, I'm on the last one. It's shorter, so I put the two taller ones on the sides. I'm going to put the short, fat one here. And I think I'll be done. No, yeah, yeah. I don't think I do anything else. I had a couple of sequins. Yeah, I do add some sequins, and then I'll be done. So I want to mention that down there below, you will find the playlist that Christy created for all the layouts to go. I looked at it this morning when I was watching them, and there was 87, but of course some of them aren't available yet. And I think I mentioned playlists before, and I keep forgetting to mention you might have to skim past all the ones that's not available yet. But plenty of inspiration anyway. And of course, the ones you watched there and read, so yeah. But let's see. Yeah, I'm adding the little bits of sequence, and then that's it. And when I thought about doing this, of course, all I planned on was doing the door and then having a background of the whatever, the just like the door, the same paper, because you get 3 sheets in the craft consortium. So that's what I had planned, was to make a door and do that. But that's as far as I got. I thought, what else am I going to put on my layout? I knew I would use By the Sea, but this was like perfect for it. I could do 3 clusters with my By the Sea dies and have my pictures up there. So yeah, this layout was perfect to go ahead and use these photos on. So I was really thrilled when I seen it. But when I first looked at it, I thought I'd do a sports one. And then I thought I'd do one of Malachi with playing in some dirt. And then I remembered these pictures and I thought, that'll be perfect. So yeah, I'm glad that this sketch, I might have called the layout a while ago, that this sketch was here and that I could use it for these photos. But yeah, I love creating little scenes and little clusters of little scenes. Yeah. And so there's my clusters. And I just love that steampunk die set. Of course, I love the mechanical one too, but I almost forgot to put the little rivets around there. So I was glad that it looked blank and I remembered. And there's the center cluster and the sequins. Of course, don't they make it look like a treasure? And the fishnet, I had to use the fishnet. And I went ahead and went with the orange. So it has some texture, but not show up a whole lot, and blend in just a little bit with the background. And there's my title. I didn't glue it down in the center because I knew it was going to span the two. And like I said, I thought that's where the title was supposed to go. My memory failed me. But that's my completed layout. And I want to thank you all so very, very much for joining me while I created it. And make sure you check out the playlist down there below and see what everybody else has created with this sketch. Have a happy, scrappy week.